They told a Marine vet he didn't belong in a luxury car dealership because of how he looked, just smiled, walked out, and minutes later, 4 Navy SEALs stepped in behind him. Nobody raised their voice, but what happened next changed a company, sparked national headlines, and showed just how far respect of the lack of it can travel. Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec and tell you the whole thing. It was just past 2 in the afternoon when Elijah Ransom rolled his old black F-150 into the lot at Westlake European Motors, Thousand Oaks. The sky was clear, sharp, almost mocking in how regular it felt, considering what he had planned. Elijah stepped out, boots scuffed from years in the service, jeans faded, hoodie stretched out at the sleeves, still smelling faintly of engine oil and desert wind. Didn't matter what mattered was inside. A 2024 Maserati Gran Turismo, snow white with blood-red leather, the kind of car that made his wife Jada's eyes light up in a magazine 6 months earlier. She'd said, "She's beautiful," and smiled like a teenager. Elijah wanted to surprise her no anniversary, no birthday, just because he could, just because it mattered. He'd called ahead, made an appointment with a salesman named Lucas. The plan was simple: sign the paperwork, pay in full, get the car delivered home with a big red ribbon before sunset. He walked toward those glass doors, head high, thinking about Jada's laugh when she'd see that car, about how good it would feel to do something just for her. But halfway across the lot, 2 security guards appeared, one tall and stiff, the other built like a linebacker. "Sir, this is a private dealership, appointment only," the tall one said, blocking his way. Elijah reached for his phone comm. "Polite. I do have an appointment. 2:15 with Lucas." The other guard cut him off, not even glancing at his screen. "We've heard that one before. You need to leave. Now." There was no curiosity, no attempt to check his claim, just cold dismissal. You know what I mean? It wasn't about rules. It was about Elijah, what he looked like, what they thought they saw. His jaw tightened for a heartbeat, faced much worse, but he didn't fight, just held up his phone again. "You're making a mistake. I have the email right here." Didn't matter. "We'll call the police if we have to," the short one said, like Elijah was trouble, not a customer. Elijah exhaled, steady. "You might want to let Lucas know he just lost a sale." But they didn't care. He turned, walked back to his truck, sat there for a minute, heart flat, staring at the wheel. He could have called Jada, just told her he'd run into traffic, but he didn't. Instead, he called Derek. "Need a favor," Elijah said, when Derek picked up, no need for explanations. 10 minutes later, 4 men rolled in. Derek, Braden, Alonzo, Sterling, guys he'd served with, Navy SEALs all, every one of them steady as a mountain and twice as stubborn. They didn't ask why, didn't judge. "What happened?" Derek asked, low and easy. "They wouldn't even check my appointment, just told me to leave," Elijah said. "Let's keep it cool," he told them. "No threats, no noise. I just want them to see who they turn away." They nodded, understanding exactly what that meant. The 5 of them crossed the lot this time. No one stopped them. Inside, the dealership felt cold and bright, all glass and marble, cars lined up like jewelry in a case. Lucas looked up, startled. "Can I help you?" Elijah stepped forward, calm. "I had a 2:15 appointment." "You're Lucas?" The salesman stammered, checked his tablet, then apologized too late. "The guards didn't let me in," Elijah said quietly. Derek looked around. "Is this your whole sales approach?" Lucas paled, mumbled something, and went to get his manager. Entered Darren, a sales director, all tight tie and corporate grin. "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" Elijah kept his voice level, explained the situation. Appointment ignored, turned away, not even a name checked. Darren tried to cover. "Security's just been extra cautious lately." Sterling cut in. "Cautious of what? Guys in hoodies with appointments?" Darren's smile faltered. "Let's all calm down." Elijah shrugged. "We are calm. You're the ones sweating." That's when Darren panicked, tried to keep things from going public, started offering extras, desperate to salvage the sale. "You think this is about floor mats and oil changes?" Elijah asked, eyes flat. "You've got a bigger problem than this going public. You got a culture problem. People here judge before they speak." Darren tried to promise discipline, but Derek stepped in. "Not your call anymore." They walked out, silent, leaving behind a room colder than it started. At the truck, Elijah sat for a moment, heavy. "Didn't want to have to call you guys," he said. Derek smiled. "We didn't come for the dealership. We came for you." That hit Elijah hard, the truth of it. He thumbed the scar on his wrist, memory from Kandahar. He'd seen worse, and it made him strong, but also made him tired of having to prove himself over and over. Alonzo had an idea. "I got a buddy, Gabe, owns a place in Santa Monica. No drama. Want to go?" Elijah nodded. They drove together, music off, the silence deep and comfortable. Monarch Motor House wasn't flashy glass front, silver sign, sun-worn man at the desk with grease on his hands. "You're Elijah Ransom," Gabe said, smiling like he meant it. "Your friend said you wanted to surprise your wife. I serve too. Come on, I've got just the thing." At the back, under soft light, was another Maserati white, red leather, perfect. "She's yours if you want her," Gabe said. "No judgment, no side eye. Just tell your wife the story because it matters." Meanwhile, back in Thousand Oaks, things were already shifting. Colonel Rebecca Winters, Elijah's old commander, heard about it from Derek. She moved quietly, but with power. By 4:15, Westlake's parent company had a flagged report. Former Marine, confirmed appointment, forcibly removed. No threats, just a simple question: are these your standards? By sunset, the regional manager, owner, everyone was scrambling. That night, a woman in a sharp blazer walked in, Colonel Winters herself. She made it clear, apologies were not enough. Policies would change. People will be fired. And she had the board's ear, too. But here's where it really turned: someone inside leaked security footage to a local journalist. Just 60 seconds, Elijah arriving, being stopped, holding up his phone, leaving quietly. No shouting, no violence. Just dignity under pressure. That clip went viral. By noon, news vans were outside, headlines everywhere. Comments rolled in, people furious, others thoughtful. This is how they treat veterans? Internal chat logs leaked next, staff mocking Elijah's truck, his boots, even his name. Darren, the sales director, was outfired on the spot. Lucas, under review. Guards gone. The company tried to hide, but the internet never forgets. Elijah, meanwhile, was home with Jada. The Maserati delivered by Gabe himself sat in their driveway. Jada cried when she saw it, not for the car, but for what he'd gone through to bring it home. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I'm tired," he said, meaning more than just the drive. "Why didn't you just come home?" she wondered. He shook his head. "Because if I had, nothing would have changed." She understood. That same week, Elijah got a call from Reverend Owens in Pasadena. "You've inspired a lot of our vets. If you ever want to speak, the door's open." Elijah said he'd think about it. Days later, an intern from the dealership sent a letter to Colonel Winters. "I saw what happened. I didn't stop it, but I will next time. Not all redemption is loud, you know?" 2 weeks later, Monarch Motor House delivered another car, this time to a young EMT mom who'd been taking 3 buses to work. Elijah arranged it, no spotlight, no credit. That's how he wanted it: a change, not headlines. The Maserati became just another car, part of life: grocery runs, trips to Big Bear, neighbor kids' fingerprints on the doors. That's what made Jada love it even more. "You did more than buy a car," she told him. "You showed people how to answer with grace. Maybe that's what dignity really is." Elijah kept getting messages from strangers, veterans, even car dealers in other states, some changing their hiring, some promising walk-in tests for fairness. He visited the community center, listened to young vets talk about silence, about how heavy it gets until someone speaks up. Speaking up doesn't always fix the system, Elijah told them, but it lets people know they're not invisible. One kid asked, "You think I can make it, Marines?" Elijah smiled. "You show up, do the work, don't let anyone tell you who you are. That's all any of us can do." Months passed. The media moved on, but the story didn't fade. Civics teachers taught it, HR managers referenced it, dealerships rewrote their rules. And in Elijah's backyard, on a quiet night, he and his friends shared stories over the grill, remembering that one moment, just a regular Tuesday, could become something bigger. "You didn't walk away and feel small," Derek said. You walked away and built something bigger than pride. Elijah raised his glass, laughed. He wasn't angry anymore, felt responsible in the best way. Because people are always watching, even when you're just trying to get through the day. And when they see strength wrapped in calm, pain met with restraint, it makes them ask themselves, how would I react? That's where change begins. Not with noise, but with action, reflection, and the courage to just stand your ground. So if you've ever felt invisible, underestimated, or dismissed, remember Elijah ransomed not because he fought back, but because he stood still and let the truth speak for itself. Maybe when it's your turn, you'll do the same. If this story moved you, don't let it fade. Share it, talk about it, and let's remind each other of who we can choose to be. What do you think? Does dignity still matter? Or is it just another headline in a loud world? Let's hear your thoughts below.